There you go. Sacred Valley Penetration. Who are those guys? Well, they were Color Me Psycho, Calgary's own from a long time ago. All right then. In the studio, as I said earlier, we've got Art Bergmann and Susanne Tabata. Awesome. Anyway, Suzanne's put, it's Susanne, right?
Yeah, that's fine, no problem.
I just don't want to butcher. My name's impossible to figure out, and I just hate doing it to other people.
What's your last name?
Well, it depends. If it's anglicized, Proknuk is the way it's said. But anyway,
Are you Ukrainian?
I'm afraid so.
That's
My
wonderful.
name is. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Art, you're on it. Anyway, we're here to talk about Bloodied but Unbowed, which is your movie that you put together over a period of many years.
Yes.
I was actually I was told about this right away by a fellow I know who's the biggest Vancouver music scene fan in the whole wide world, and his name's Scott. Hey Scott, how's it going?
Not Scott Beadle. Somebody from somebody.
Scott Macklin. Yeah, he's amazing. He knows all the stuff inside out. And I almost wanted him to be sitting in here, but
Hi Scott.
He's happy. And he told me about this movie. He's the first person to tell me about this movie, and he was so thrilled about it. He was just totally jacked, right? And so I've sort of been following on it, and basically I'm happy you're here because now we can talk about it.
Okay.
Now, of course, Art being a veteran of the scene back then, and being in a number of different bands, and then moving on doing solo stuff,
And he also has the last word in the movie.
well, see, there you go. See,
He puts the nail in. No, Jerry has the last word in the credit roll.
Oh,
You have the
okay.
last word in the narrative of the movie.
well, anyway, why don't you tell me about what, like, obviously Vancouver back then for us was really mysterious.
Mhm.
Calgary only had 500,000 people in it. Our scene was small and we were trying to do things, but it was always like, if we wanted to do anything crazy, we went to Vancouver. And I just want to know, what put the seed in your mind that you wanted to actually chronicle this?
I'd done a couple of other documentaries that are sort of scene oriented. One was about surfing subculture or surfing culture on the West Coast, and another one was about women in professional skateboarding.
Hmm?
And when I did this, when I was in California doing the one on women's professional skateboarding, I met all the people that did the Dogtown documentary, Dogtown and Z-Boys, which was a big documentary and it became a big feature film. And it was really interesting because the backstory to all of that was that you can just take a story that you've been involved with and mythologize it. Now that's just sort of an early seed, but I think what happened was around 2006, 2007 in that area, with the internet and everything, I think there was a lot of nostalgia that just sort of started to creep up. There was a lot of, I guess, revival around the idea of older music scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that I came up with that idea to pursue making a documentary, concurrently with other people that were doing other things, like there were band reunions and so forth. And then I began the journey to do it. And I started making it before it was funded. So it was sort of idea driven and effort driven.
Yeah, well, I know for at least for myself, like I'm like 50, so it was a perfect time for me to be interested in this kind of music and what was going on. And like I said, trips to Vancouver were awfully rare, but we always enjoyed ourselves greatly, probably epically. But none of us ever thought of actually writing anything down, or like saying, "Oh man, somebody's got to write this stuff down," because nobody'd ever believe it. So in this, I mean, no, really, and it's honestly, your history is your history, and your version of events in your mind is always going to be a little bit different than other people's versions of events and stuff. So the idea of actually putting together so many different people to get their pictures, footage, personal anecdotes, things like that, I can see how it would be almost a daunting experience, and so many people have moved on.
It was a hellish experience.
Yeah. Well, who did you start with? Who did you decide to talk to
Art
first?
was one of the first ones. Because I'd done college radio back in 1978, 79, I had some experience already with some of the early scene, the early musicians, just from a fan perspective, really, not so much socially, but certainly from a fan perspective. And I also was involved in an early cable television show. We did live late night cable, and we brought a lot of the local artists on there. So when I came up with the idea, I had to really go to the people that I knew back then first, and that would have been Art, Joe, Buck, Jim Cummins, Jerry Hanna.
So like Joe Keithley,
Oh yeah.
Buck from Modern X.
Yeah. Sort of that cast, and really I thought that the three most important characters that would be important to have in a film from that era would be Art,
Mhm.
for his lyrics, just writing and songwriting,
Mhm.
Jerry for his political action, and Joe for just basically longevity, you know,
Mhm.
the sort of the engine, the strength behind pushing,
Still
pushing
going.
music and still going. So I thought that was kind of a triangulation of ideas, but really, it ended up being a film about the rise and fall of a scene and a
Right.
group of people at at a moment in time, a fleeting
Well-
moment in time.
Well, that's pretty amazing. Like when I think about people that were in that group of, at least what I was involved with, we tended to go pretty fast and pretty hard,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, there's a lot of collateral damage, right? You know, you lose people on the way, and there's a lot of persons who essentially get shattered by the experience. And so was it difficult to make the film? In some way, was there some melancholy in it also, or?
Yeah.
You know, just, obviously there's the joys of being young and being crazy and doing stuff and putting your fingers up to people and just generally making space for yourself, but the fact that so many people have become, you know, damaged, let's
There's
say,
you
and
know,
lost on the way.
Sure, there is definitely, and that theme runs through, you know, in I guess there's an undercurrent of it, but I think that what went on behind the scenes in terms of mixed emotions, right?
Mhm.
Very mixed emotions in terms of involvement. I don't, I would
Yeah.
get things like, I really don't wanna go there.
I don't wanna talk about it.
I really
Yeah.
don't wanna go there,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
maybe he doesn't mean what you think he means by
No.
collateral damage. I just
Mm.
mean being on the edge of a creative edge. Even some people's minds just shatter at the ultimate freedom you're looking for when you're out there,
Well-
looking for something new.
Well, Art, obviously, like, you're a Vancouver kid, right? Raised there?
Suburbs, yeah.
Yeah, so what was it that drew you into the scene? Like, about when were you actually, when did you feel inclined to like find some other friends and put yourself in front of people, right?
Well, I'd already been playing in bands out in suburbs where small town Fraser Valley, Surrey, Langley, Cloverdale, White Rock, ended up there, and we just got sick of playing for nobody and heard of a couple bands playing in the town, and then we've been writing our own songs for years actually, and I had people I was mentoring like Buck Cherry and Bill Shirt from Modernettes, Popular Active Dog, and like to the point of teaching them how to play a chord, and but they had the smarts, philosophical smarts and artistic smarts to promote self-promotion, right? Like putting up banners and putting up butcher's paper on overpasses and stuff. The first time they
Well,
played,
that
we
was
played
such a
our
big
first
part
show,
of it.
but a
Yeah.
big part of it was seeing DOA for the first time
Ugh.
in '77, I guess. And the thing about that show was there's 4 bands on the bill, all totally different, Dish Rags, DOA. And Tim Ray was one of the acts, and I thought his voice was so, it was like Tom Verlaine's, I thought. Tom Verlaine? Television?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was that compelling, right? And it kind of haunted me, but ever since then, we made the move immediately, just bam, it right into the downtown east side for the cheap rent, and there with indigent people, derelicts and whatever, and that's where we got
The
a
spice
lot
of
of our,
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
our inspiration.
Well, beyond that though, obviously in a young scene, because obviously it was a young scene, let's face it, there's always been bands playing in bars, say, or whatever.
Yeah, I was
but-
24, they
but-
thought I was ancient.
Well, I probably would have thought of you as an elder statesman,
Yeah.
for sure. But the thing is not a scene that is brand new, and essentially it was pretty new.
It
So
was a
there
new
was,
scene,
there
yeah.
was, you had to build your own network, right? There was no such thing as agents that would want to touch you. So you did your own promotion, you did your own flyers, you found your own community halls or wherever you could play.
The lowest, scuzziest bar in
Yeah.
town was our contribution, the Smiling Buddha.
Mhm.
And so you just continued on, soldiered on, and then you managed to get yourself, some records put out and things like that. I was wondering, actually, I've got a mitt full of questions, but it's more because I'm a bit of a fan. And, but I was thinking maybe we could play some music from the movie or some music indicative of something you liked from Vancouver. Now, I know you talked about maybe something from the Secret Bees to start off with.
Okay, yeah.
And we can do that, and then we can do more chatting. And
Sure.
for those that are interested and wondering what the hell we're talking about this afternoon, Bloodied but Unbowed is playing tonight at the Hi-Fi Club. It's part of the Sled Island Festival, and it is a retrospective. It's a look at essentially the life and the times of the Vancouver music scene in the late '70s and early '80s. So anyway, yeah, let's get into some music, and then we'll come back, do a bit more chit chat, and then we'll let you guys have a fantastic night.
Serious chat,
No,
as Gian Gomeshi would say.
No, that guy's like a pro. Yeah, he gets paid.
He's a drummer.
There you go.
Was he a
Bass
drummer?
player.
Yes.
Okay,
No
now
way.
let's play some music and then we'll come back to this, all right?
Are you serious? I thought he was a...
Are you kidding? He was Max if you rest the baby left.
I know, but...
This is loud drummer.
That was a nice cut in. That was beautiful what you said. It was
Well,
good.
I didn't think
It
he
was
was...
good. No, it was really good. I mean,
Talking about the drug.
Well,
I was thinking about the first punks in Paris in the 1950s. You ever read Grail Marcus, Secret History of the 20th Century?
God, I can't remember. Is it horrible I tell you I don't remember probably at least 75% of what I was up to back then?
Tracy, well, it's after that.
Yeah.
It's Sex Pistols combined with radical surrealism.
Sounds sort of related.
No, I was actually in Tim Ray and Berlin comparison, but this is it's like this. Are you recording your program as you go along?
The programs are always logged, so if
yeah, during?
yeah.
Yeah, you look really busy after that.
Did you work with James?
You're
Was,
sorry.
Hello, Secret Study.
was it Naomi? Colin?
sorry.
Was it Bill Colin?
No,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a drummer. I just thought that was so funny when we were
Oh,
talking
okay.
about that earlier.
Sure. Drummer.
Definitely do
On the
that.
phone too?
Thanks, Glenn.
Frank's good.
Yeah, I know, I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
No, I wasn't, I didn't hear you half of what you guys were saying.
Well, you should have sat. You with your good ear to us.
Yeah.
We were talking about how you could get into your business.
Bring it again.
And the
But
thing,
he knows.
the thing is, the better interviewers, you have to be completely self-effacing. It's like, I'm just a Joe Blow. You know, you're the guest.
Walter's the star. I love your show, by the way, Walter.
It's nice. I love your tone.
Wednesday afternoon. Oh.
You know that Art lives here.
Oh, cool. We're gonna start hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime.
Like he listens to your show.
Hanging out.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you hang out? Wow.
Okay, we're gonna go on pretty quick here.
Where do you hang out?
We'll just go on again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy talk. Okay,
Are you coming to the Hi-Fi tonight?
I might have to.
A special guest.
I get it.
You're on the list.
No.
I love
Plus-
that.
plus
I love that
five.
place, but
He says he hangs out there.
it damages me.
Come down. You know the bar staff.
There you go.
That's
They're all good
delivers.
people. You'll love them. Okay, Art and Susanne are in the studio talking to me about music and Bloodied but Unbowed. And more than happy to have you guys here. Actually, just let you kids out there know, that was Waiting for the Drugs to Take Hold by the Secret Bees. How do you know those guys? When did you meet them? Like,
Oh, just met them, I put them on a show or two that I was doing with my band at the time, the K-Tels, on to Young Canadians. And they begged harder than anyone to be on the bill, and I put them on. We put them on.
that's probably a very good choice.
Yeah,
Um,
Secret Bees, and then they got their own little following happening, and yeah.
Nice. So,
Every band met every other band. We all knew each other and helped each other out as much as we could.
without getting, like, obviously, I'd love to talk about every scene in the movie,
Yeah.
but do you
I
find...
think DOA though, I
um,
think they were taking advantage of me. I had a